Eti fako Babatella Update TV Nation na message send about nation no hit adama no subscribe no like no shama one pense mi bi etie so enye bi etie na message say obaje brania da je ne bobra ensem ni montentem ne akotie ensema ene dey so etodwa na ye bobra ma say the Reverend Ntim ohun nsem de anu dem papa name say this time no NDC for na ma wani ewu papa. This time radio so why hot na still na Festus Aboagye kulina Festus Aboagye still na was one ten ho ase Reverend Ntim emfa onu so video clips mra yes was one so emfa video clips mra because I mean this time this will be a issue in evidence national security for the omodiaba Ntim so ubutaye di nti ama wo kan asasem no oso ogina so ne sai nti se oso omotwen no na yemomrem.
From what I saw on TV, at least the government, in this case the state, has provided additional particulars about the two flights. Indeed, initially I thought, I was under the impression that the two flights were all air ambulances until the director for communications on the government side came and elaborated. Then I could distinguish between the nature of those two flights, But the ranking member says that there are gaps. He used the word inconsistencies. I don't think he used the word contradictions. But I'm saying, according to him, I would choose to say maybe there are gaps in what the Honorable Minister has said. So therefore, the ranking member should not just say that there are inconsistencies. He should point out the inconsistencies. He should substantiate what those gaps are. And it can only be done fruitfully, constructively, if he brings evidence. The state has shown pictures. Now, has he got pictures, video clips, or audio clips that he could bring to the debate? It is not sufficient, in my view, for any one of us to claim malfeasance. And then when we're asked to bring the particulars, we then say, I think, on the part of the ranking member that what he said was discussed in committee, and that he was speaking on behalf of the committee. But we all know that per parliamentary procedures, he's not the spokesperson for the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Defense and Security. It is rather the ranking member, the chair. And the chair didn't come out to make those claims. So I think, as I'm saying, in the interest of national security, both sides need to come out clearly and lay this matter to rest. Now, I want to recall, many decades ago, I cannot remember when I heard the story, but probably I was on military education program in the States. And the case was that in 1960, I think it was 1960, an American spy plane, the U series, U2 or whatever the U is, flew over Soviet airspace, and the Soviets shot down the plane.
Yes, and Ken, I wanted that specific response to that question that Dr. Murtala Mohammed asked as to whether the government's detail does not suffice for evidence, as in explanation for further detail given to why these flights landed. And you say that, yes, you acknowledge that detail, but also asking of Reverend Ntim for your, just as Dr. Murtala Mohammed has said, to come with his evidence if he has it. Professor Jampo, just a quick one on this while we round up.
Quick one. I think listening to what has been said and observing what is going on, what I want to say is that, you see, the conduct of politics itself brings about development. And it predates partisan politics. people should note this. Politics is good. Okay? But there's a difference between partisan politics and politics. Politics predates partisan politics. Okay, so sometimes it is partisan politics that would want people do all manner of things and say all manner of things just for the purposes of bringing about a certain unpopularity or winning elections and all that. I think that the Reverend Ntim is a man of God, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I believe that I believe that if clearly he has the evidence for some of his claims, then I think the appropriate place must be visited by him, and then you put out the evidence there. Because in my view, we should know when to do partisan politics and when to allow governance and nation building to go on. Otherwise, if we always want to do partisan politics, then the very nation we are seeking to govern tomorrow may not exist for us to get the opportunity to go govern. If we succeed in painting Ghana that black among the committee of nations, nobody will take us serious. They will begin to be imposing certain sanctions, and tomorrow you may be in power. And you would have destroyed the very nation you may be seeking to serve. So I think that let us know when to do partisan politics and then when to allow governance and nation building to go on. As a people, first of all, a state of emergency. Okay, Galamsey itself as the IGP, the old Wazirian. I went to West Africa Secondary School. We are the ones who produces good IGPs. He said that. Why? Explaining you. You said they teach you how to speak good.
My friend,
West Africa Secondary School. Yes. Okay. He said that Galamsey is a war. Yes. Okay, it's a war on the sovereignty of Ghana. And then, so if that is the case, let us see the police also declaring war. And I favor the idea of transferring all who are in that area, get them out, take fresh people there, let a state of emergency be declared, let the military move in there. Okay, you see, they are killing us. Yes. Okay, can you imagine? You have not seen it before. Alfred, I don't think you've seen.
Which one is that?
No, I see, you are in this area, and the whole day there's no water to bath.
But Chief, do you know that yes, 3 days ago a policeman died?
Alfred, can I? He wanted to address.
No.
He wanted to address
the whole day. The whole day there's no water to bath. The whole day you don't have water to drink. The whole day you don't have water to cook. Okay, so you want to use the washroom. You are torn between using it in your room or doing it in the no man's land. I mean, have you at the mercy of reptiles? Have you? Because I don't live there. And if you do it there and you close it, it means the whole place is going to. So you don't know. And you don't also want to go to where you will be attacked by reptiles. So you have to control yourself, sit in your car and drive like an ambulance back to a place that you can find comfort. And you think it's an easy thing. Look, I want this experience to be experienced by virtually all of us so that we can all be forceful. You see, so the government, like I said, is sending the right signals. And leadership is always about sending the right signals. But I admit that the signals that are being sent, even though are good, we think that more can be done. And so let us start by locking the tap that is causing the place to flood. Let us start by declaring a certain limited state of emergency within the enclaves where illegal mining is going on. And when that is done, those doing it, those foreigners who have come from, those disrespectful foreigners who have connived, okay, who have joined forces with our own local people here, and they are doing this to us. Things that we know we cannot do outside. Look, let me tell you this. I told you, I said when I was in University of South Florida, I had a friend, okay, Professor Mafo, I visited him. Then he kept telling me, you see, I have a beautiful snake in this garden. I see it every morning.
And I said, a beautiful snake, what do you mean? He said, yeah, let's go and kill it. He said, no, here, we don't kill snakes. Snakes, they protect the environment. They are part of, so they don't, he said, let's go. And said, I said, I can't even look at them. I had gone to pick a snake, I was going to kill a snake. He said, no, we don't kill snake here. We care about the environment. You see, people protect the environment to the point that even harmful reptiles, when they see them, they say, go. They do that in their country, but we allow them to move from their country to our country to destroy our source of livelihood. And then when we are talking about it, you say, let's do partisan politics with it. Excessive partisanship breeds political madness.
Thank you.
It is not about MPP. It's not about NDC. It's about the lives of humanity. It's about the lives of Ghanaians. It's about kidneys that are failing. It's about livers that are failing. It's about the serious health implications for all of us. It's about the fact that tomorrow, if you don't take care, we are being told that we may be importing water. We have bigger water bodies.
You get it from
see, we have 2030 actually.
We may be importing water.
5 years from now.
Please, respectfully, President Mahama, and like I said the difference between President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo is that President Mahama will listen. President Akufo-Addo will not listen. I urge him respectfully to listen to the plea and the demand for him, for the taps to be locked, so that we begin to wipe the
declaration of the state of emergency.
Declaration of the state of emergency. Just as we declared lockdown during COVID, let there be a certain declaration of it. It shows seriousness. Once you do that, it shows that no, you are serious. Otherwise, you may be doing the right things, but the more you will be doing them, others will be doing galamsey behind the scenes, and then, like I said, we'll continue to be romancing a stone in this fight.
Well, you see, I want to have you address the specific issue of the water.
Okay.
Because there are other things.
And also the state of emergency, because I've
realized
realized
that.
But and I realized my good friend was.
So the state of
K2 people.
It's a major water problem. It's a major concern.
Why is this water shortage?
Let me state that I can understand the demand. Sometimes you can describe it as excessive, but acceptable, excessive demands on government to do more than we are doing. Of course, such could not have happened under the previous administration. And I can understand the concerns expressed by Dr. Ken Ashigbe and my professor and others. Because the point is that you have a government that is committed in fighting galamsey. But let's understand, Doctor.
Are you addressing the water?
Yes, I'm addressing it. There was a lot of work, or a lot of work has actually been done behind the scenes. Doctor, the reason why we're able to know that 9 of our forest areas were completely overtaken by armed, wielding young men, most of whom are foreigners, because there was some intelligence work that was done. And even when we started moving in, we never announced it. It was after the results. That was when it was announced what we have done. Now, so, Prof, we have not even gotten to a state where we can even fathom describing it as a what's the name? A lawless state. And I say this because having identified that 9 of our forests have taken over by armed wielding men, the security agencies quickly moved in. And we virtually liberated 7 out of the 9. When Erastus made his comment, and I commend him, look, you can't have the entire forest areas policed entirely by the security agencies.
Yeah.
November 2022, the military men who were policing more or less these forest areas were all asked to withdraw by the previous administration. So it was free for all. They were all asked. They withdrew all the military men and other security forces who were manning these forest areas. They asked all of them to withdraw. For what reason? Perhaps for political reasons or reasons known to the previous administration. Now you have a new government that came to office. In 4 months, less than 4 months, we are just virtually 3 months getting to 4 months. We have been able to identify that these people were asked to withdraw because they never announced it. We never knew that the secret, maybe perhaps Dr. Ken Ashigbe might have had information. We never knew. We never knew that they asked all the security forces to withdraw from the forest areas. Now, we never knew that 9 of... No, before elections, that was November 2022. They withdrew all of them. So that they can mine them more, because that's the only explanation. So I'm saying that we came as a result
of... it coincides with when the LI was passed?
And so if you observe, so the enormity of the challenge confronting us, that's why I want people to appreciate what we have done so far. As a result of the intelligence gathering, we're able to determine that why is it that there are no security forces, hitherto who were there operating are no longer. We got the information that in November they were all asked to withdraw. 2, we got to realize that 9 of our forests were all overtaken by these armed, wielding young men, most of whom are not even Ghanaians. They speak foreign languages. Now, we didn't just stop there. What responsible governments do? We quickly marshaled the security forces without announcing to the people of this country to move in. We liberated 7 out of the 9. The 2, as I talk to you, there is operation going on. But you also agree with me. You can't have all these forest areas, even if we marshal the entire military force of this country, to be able to take care of that. So what we have done is that, and I asked you, reportage, that they attempted to go back. They attempted, when you come and they attempted. So the moment we got that hint, the military moved in again. Now, what we intend to do is that having gotten all these 9 forest reserve areas liberated completely, then we must ensure that they no longer have the capacity to move.